Hey guys, welcome to Refnation. I've been a referee for 5 years now, and the other day I was thinking about what all I've learned and a couple things that I wish I had known when I got started. So here's the top 5. First of all, it takes a lot of time. Refereeing is a serious time commitment. Man, when I was in high school and see referees walk through the gym for a game, I figured all they did was show up, blow the whistle a few times, and then leave. Boy, was I wrong. It's going to take time to learn. It's going to take time to get better. It's going to take time just to do games so you can see plays and progress and understand how it works from a referee's perspective. It's going to take time to not only get to games on time, but get to games early. It's going to take time to go to meetings. It's going to take time to find a mentor, meet with them, go to their games, break down film with them. It's going to take time to break down your own film. It's going to take time to learn from others. And eventually it's going to take time to teach others. It's going to take time to break down film with others. It's going to take time for everything. Refereeing is a huge, serious time commitment. It takes a pretty good chunk of time a day just to keep track of when your assignments are, what games you have today, what games you have tomorrow, especially if you're working for different assigners who have different releases. It's going to take time to make sure your blocks are in, make sure your hold dates are in. So you have the days that you're available and the days you're not available. It's going to take time to make sure that all of your assigners are aware of that. It's going to take time to make sure that the right schools have paid you the right amount. It's going to take time to keep track of which schools owe you and how much. There's a whole business aspect of it that I hadn't really thought about. I didn't know much until, honestly, my second year or third year of refereeing. Then I kind of started to figure it out. It's going to take time just to drive to schools as you move up and up and up in your officiating career. You're going to have to drive for a little bit further and a little bit further to get to schools. Fighting traffic is not going to be fun. It's going to take time. Make sure you build in time to maybe stop and get a snack, stop and get food on the way. There's spring and summer leagues, fall leagues. Then you have regular season, then spring league, fall league, summer league. It's a whole cycle. That's going to take a lot of time, even when you're out of season. And I do that because there is no out of season for a referee. I mean, basketball is year round, especially here in Texas. The spring, summer, and fall leagues that you do, just so you can see that next level of play, so you can, make some extra cash, so you can stay in shape, so you can stay on top of your game, so you can keep refereeing all summer. I mean, 8 games a day for Friday, Saturday, Sunday, sometimes Monday, that takes a lot of time. It costs way more than you think it does to referee. I mean, just take the uniform, for example. How much do you think that costs? $20? 30? 35? 40 bucks? 50 bucks? Well, maybe for a shirt. A single shirt is probably about 50 bucks. And then you want to talk about pants or shoes or your jacket that you have to wear before varsity games, or an undershirt or compression shorts or socks or a whistle or a lanyard. I mean, all of it. It just adds up quick. Not to mention that you'll have multiple sets of uniforms for maybe a Monday night middle school game, and then that gets sweaty, so you wear a different one to your Tuesday night JV varsity game, and then a different one to your Thursday game, and a different one to your Friday game, and a different one to your Saturday tournament. You'll end up getting more than one shirt, more than one pair of pants, definitely more than one pair of socks. Same thing with your undershirt, your compression shorts, whistles, actually. For example, I have 9 different pairs of shirts. I have 3 different pairs of pants. I actually have 2 different jackets. This stuff can get kind of expensive kind of quick. So now on top of that, you may be working for different associations or different organizations who require a slightly different shirt, or maybe they prefer a different style of pants over the other. So, I have 5 different styles of shirts and 2 different styles of pants, 2 different styles of jackets. And that's just the bare minimum of the different styles, not to mention the different pairs of each style. Now that you look the part, you need experience. So now that we've bought our uniform, you're going to need to pay for camps. You have to go to a camp to learn how to referee. You're going to have to pay to do a game so that there be people there who teach you how to referee. you're gonna have to pay to go to. You're gonna have to pay for your dues to each assigner, just so you can be a member of that chapter or association, so that you can get games. You're gonna have to go to camp each year. 1 year of camp is not enough to just get there. I mean, and you're gonna go to multiple camps a year. I think last year I went to 3. This year I'm going to 5. Next year, hopefully, I'm going to another round of camps. Each association has dues that need to be paid each year in order to maintain your membership of that chapter or organization or association or whatever it is. And in order to be a member, in order to get games, you need to be a member. They don't give non-members games. Now, if you work for multiple high school chapters, or if you do high school and college, you're going to have several different organizations you work for, and so those dues are going to add up quickly. Not everyone wants to help you or see you succeed. There's going to be people, older people, who have done this for a lot longer than you have, and they're going to feel threatened by a younger guy who's improving pretty quickly. They may feel like you have the potential to take their games, or thus giving them a weaker schedule, or you're going to overpass them. They may give you helpful hints along the way that really turn out to be not that helpful. There's going to be people who want to take your games. There's going to be people who are envious of your schedule, especially at such a young age, and they think that they deserve that game or that spot in that game. If they're the U2 and you're the U1 or the R, they're going to be jealous of that. There's people who don't really care to see you succeed, but they just don't want to work with you because they're older and you're a younger guy who they think might screw up their game or may hurt their reputation or hurt their pride. You don't know everything, and you won't ever know everything. It doesn't matter if you played basketball since you were 2, like I did, or if you played in college, or if you tried out for a semi-pro team, or if you actually made it to the G League, or if you've coached for 15 years. Like, it doesn't matter how long you've been around basketball. I guarantee you don't know the first thing about officiating. That's because officiating is a complete 180 from either playing or coaching. At the end of the season, for me, I feel like I've learned so much during the past season that there's not anything else that I could possibly learn, because I feel like I've learned so much that I think I know it all. And then the same thing happens in the next season. And then the same thing happens in the next season. And you kind of come to realize that you've learned how much you don't know more than you learn how much you learn. Just when you think you've completely mastered all the mechanics and rules, and you remember every single case play, and you've handled every situation correctly, you think, you'll find out when you move on to the next level, whether that's NCAA men's, NCAA women's, G League, Pro-Am, FIBA, NBA, whatever it is, that each level has a completely different set of rules, completely different set of mechanics, and a whole new case book. And so it's back to the drawing board. You're back to learning, back to practicing. And then you go back to a high school game. We're not using FIBA mechanics in high school. We're not using college mechanics in the NBA. So you have to make sure you keep everything separate and straight. And so it's a never-ending process of just learning and practicing and improving. Lastly, moving up is going to be slow, but so worth the wait. There's been times that I felt like I was ready. I've been told I was ready to move on to the next level. I remember the first time I tried out for a college camp, they invited me back to the next one free of charge, and then they invited me to come and officiate a junior college scrimmage, and there just kept being another thing to go to advance on to, and to move on to. And then time for the season came, and I found out I was not going to be hired by that organization for that year. And so I reached out to one of my friends on the hiring committee, and I said, hey, I was told that I'm ready for this, and then I didn't get hired, so what's the deal? And he said, well, you are ready. There's no doubt that you have the ability to move on and advance to this, but he said they didn't want to put me in a position where they weren't afraid that I would mess up the game, but they were afraid that I could be put in a game that might mess me up, that I might blow my one chance, if you will, that I might move up too quickly, and that something could happen that the rest of the signers at the Division II or Division I level might look at me and say, I have a negative event associated with me, and therefore not decide to hire me. And I really appreciated that decision. I think it was kind of tough at the time, but I just spent the whole next year working and improving on it, and really learning and practicing, and I really look forward to continuing to work to get to that level, whether it's this year or next year, or whenever they feel like I'm ready to actually take that step into the next level in advance. So there you have it. There are 5 things I wish I knew when I had first started my officiating career. But the most important thing that I wish I had known when I first started was that, man, you're absolutely going to love it. It's only going to take one season into my career, and I was already dreaming of doing the NCAA Final Four, or picturing myself doing a Game 7 of the NBA Finals. I mean, one season, and I had already wanted to make a career out of it. One season is all it takes to get hooked. One season is all it takes. I hope this helps, especially if you're considering getting into refereeing or new to it. I hope you learned something. Don't forget to click the subscribe button down below. Give us a like. Follow us on social media. Everything's at ref.nation. Stay up to date on all things basketball and referee related. And I'll see you next time. Thank y'all for watching.